audio palette, guys. Thanks for having me tonight. And welcome to Big City Stories. You guys should have like a, I don't know, like a theme song, like even if it's like real short, like welcome to Big City Stories. Just like have that be it. Some like real corny 80s music in the background. I'll do it. I'll do the theme. Yeah, I'll do the theme if you want me to. All right, so this story is, well, I'm not going to tell you what it's about. I don't want to ruin it. But this was about 2011. I was working as a barista. So it was pretty early in the morning. I was headed to work. I lived off the L train at the time, so I had to take the L to like the F train and go uptown because I worked over like way up on 58th Street. And so, you know, it's I had to be to work at like 6:30, so it's like 6 a.m. I'm still like in a daze, a huge daze. I'm transferring from the L to the F train. As I'm coming up the stairs, I hear this loud booming voice, and he's not speaking English. I couldn't pinpoint the language. All I knew was that it was a man, and he was speaking very loudly, and it might have been gibberish. I don't know. I came around the corner, and this is what I saw. So, kind of large, stocky, light-skinned, bald-headed gentleman. He was sitting down on one of the benches, and there was a lot going on this bench. He looked homeless. He had the whole homeless like bag full of a bunch of other bags. I don't know. I don't know what that means. Like what's going on with the bags, but he had that going on, and he was wearing a poncho, like, but it wasn't like you know, like they sell like the cute ponchos at Urban Outfitters now. Like it was like a struggle poncho, you know, like it had been through like levels of struggle, this poncho. And he was holding this big, it was an abnormally large sized book. It almost looked, I could tell by like how glossy it was, it almost looked like a storybook. He was holding it in his hand like this, and then in his other hand, he was fiddling with something. I couldn't tell what it was. But I was one of the first people off the train, so I was just kind of standing there looking because I wanted to like soak it all in, and I was, you know, still trying to focus. So I saw the poncho, this gentleman, he was speaking whatever language while holding this book, fiddling with something. I looked down to figure out what it was he was fiddling with. It was his cock. And so I had never seen that, but like I'm from Michigan, and I like, you know, we don't do that in Ann Arbor. It's just not a thing, you know. And so I'd been living in New York at this point for 4 years, and I was just kind of thrown off by it. So I let out like an involuntary, like, what the fuck, you know? And there were people walking up behind me, like a lady with kids, and like when I screamed, what the fuck, it just came out. And the lady kind of looked at me like, your language. So I'm the jerk. I'm the jerk, not the jerk jerking off, I'm the jerk. I don't know if she saw the guy, but all these people were just walking by like it was no big deal, and I was just kind of like, I was appalled, but like, I was sort of intrigued at the same time, because this dude was somehow holding this book, jerking off and speaking gibberish at the same time. And it takes a lot of control to do that. Like anybody in this room that's jerked off before, like he was just so calm about it. And I don't know, like when I jerk off, like I have this like, you know, like it looks like I'm burning my mouth and tongue on like hot tea. Like, it's just like this face. You know, and it's not the greatest thing to look at, you know, like, you know, it's, yeah. So, like, don't ever look in the mirror at yourself while you're jerking off. You don't want to see the faces that you make. I'm just going to say that. This dude was just chilling and stroking, and I couldn't stop looking, because it was crazy. he was like this bald-headed dude, and you know how sometimes people have like a dog and it looks like them, you know, and you're like, oh, that's funny, you know, like this dude's cock looked exactly like him. Like same, bald, shiny, everything was the same. So like I looked at that for a little bit, and he was unhinged, something wasn't right, so like I shook it off, and I didn't know if, you know, it felt like terrorism to me, some form of terrorism. I didn't know if he had like a, you know, like as soon as he was going to explode, like he was going to actually explode. So I walked all the way to the end of the subway platform, like that was going to help, waiting for my train to come. And while I was riding to work, I was like, God, 6 o'clock in the morning, like that's gonna fuck up the rest of my day. Like I haven't even eaten breakfast yet. I haven't even had a shot of espresso. Like that's gonna fuck up my whole day. Like the first thing I see is a dude jerking off, reading up from a maybe children's book and talking gibberish. So I got to work and I'm just like all fucked up about this. And I was thinking like, man, this is gonna fuck up my whole day. This is gonna fuck up my whole day. And then I realized that I'm finally a New Yorker because not even halfway through my shift, I totally forgot about the entire thing. It wasn't until QC, I talked to QC and Tommy about doing this thing tonight. I thought about it again and I was like, holy shit, I saw a dude jerk off before. And so that's what I'm going to talk to these people about. After everyone else tells these really nice, thoughtful stories, I'm going to tell a story about a dude jerking off on a subway platform. So thank you for having me. Once again, my name is Shane, and thanks for having me, guys. Good night.